Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Mending Threads. This is your safe place and your stronghold for whole body wellness. This is a transformation series, and we have with us this morning guests that are going to talk about one of our transformation threads. And so we have with us Dr. Janice Sanders, who is a registered nurse, and she's also with the Fort Bend County Black Nurses Association and one of their offices there. We have also with us Dr. Oswald Walker, Associate Pastor of the Shrine Church here in Houston. And not only just associate pastor, but he is also one of the instructors for cultural Black studies at University of Houston and Texas Southern University. So I would like to say welcome to both of our guests this morning, and audience, welcome to you. If you have any questions, as you have had, and I've gotten comments, you may text your questions this morning to 281-381-2276. Thank you. So we're going to get started this morning because we know that we have experienced so many new things, some things that could actually lower our energy level, take away things, make us feel that we have been abandoned, disbanded, and any other kind of word that you could think of that would really take away many of the things that we had thought of, hoped of, and believed. But we're going to look today at what they call um, encouraging each other in our community, and particularly as a group of people needing more encouragement than any other group of people that I can think of. So we have the perfect people here to look at our culture and our health this morning, encouraging one another, which is the key to hope and wellness. So can we open up the topic, and maybe we ought to first kind of be on the same page to brainstorm some things. It's like what we just throw this word around, hope. We throw words around like encouraging. Maybe we should can begin looking at what is this that we're so in need of. So maybe I'm just throwing it out in the middle of looking at hope.
It is an emotion, and it's a feeling that you experience and that you can share with others. A lot of people, in the mental health arena, a lot of people, if they lose hope, what happens? If they feel hopeless, what happens to them? So hope is a very important part of our transformation, because if you're
Mhm,
hopeless, it's a
mhm,
long road to recovery.
Yeah,
mhm,
Dr. Sanders, I agree. In my classes at UH, I I teach and emphasize the power of hope. Like in my when I was teaching the class, the Black Church in America, um, I would talk about, well, there are things you can criticize the historical Black Church for, and there are things you can praise it for. The one thing it definitely needs to be praised for is it gave our people hope in the midst of a hopeless situation. And I
mhm,
always tell my students,
Mhm.
if when you lose hope, you can still be alive, but you literally become the walking dead, because hope is just that important to a human being's total existence.
Yes.
Dr. Cornell West talks about nihilism. Some people pronounce it nihilism, uh, but that's really just the total lack of hopelessness, to where you believe there is absolutely nothing you can do to change your situation. And when you're in that space, you become the walking dead, and you become dangerous to yourself and to others. So to me, hope is literally that important. It's a life or death issue.
mhm.
Mhm.
There's a guy that's named what was the Walters that talked about how you install hope through groups. They call it installation of hope. that
Mm,
occurs within groups of people
mm,
that have a similar belief, and um and they give you a thing that you can believe in. So churches like that, and I think sometime I wrote an article one time, Dr. Walker, is on the black church here in Houston,
mm,
and looking at what the things that we could do and that we have already done to help people carry through difficult times and building hope. And sometimes we just let that go altogether. We just think that it comes out of somewhere. And the church, as you were saying, actually help people to learn how to choose hope, if you could say it like that. You know, when
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
you believe, you
Mm-hmm.
choose to believe, you choose it, you see,
Mm-hmm.
in that case. And then so I
Mm-hmm.
thought maybe we could talk about, since it's so important, how do you how do you begin to find it? How do you build it? How do you create it?
There's several tools that you use. It's just not one thing. It's a recipe. It's a recipe that you use to create hope in your life. And it starts with gratitude, being thankful for even
Mhm.
having life, the breath of life. You
Mhm.
know, Yesterday, my husband and I, we got rid of the grandchildren. We sent them home. And so,
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
because we ran some errands and we said, well, they ate us out of the house and how, well, what we gonna eat? And so I said, you want to make some sandwiches? He said, mm-mm. I said, well, we passing by Little Caesars. We can just get an $8 pizza. We don't have to buy all them pizzas and share. It's just between you and I, just a pizza. And he said, oh, okay. I mean, now we choosing to get a pizza, right? And as I said in the car, you can't wait inside the Caesars no more. You got to make your order and go back outside and sit in your car. So we're sitting there, and up walks a man. He looked at us, but he kept walking, just shattered, just dirty, no
Mhm.
shoes on. And while we're talking about sitting outside waiting 15 minutes for a pizza, he goes to the garbage can to see
Wow.
what's thrown in the garbage can to get something to eat. I mean, how grateful it is just to be able to go in Little Caesars and buy a $8 pizza. You see what
Yes.
I'm saying? And
Yes.
here we are wondering what we gonna eat. And here he has to go to the garbage can to get whatever is in
Mhm.
there to eat.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
when we think about it, sometimes I just, woe is me. But when you think about the millions of things
Yes.
and the affliction of others, you're just grateful to be able to put your house shoes on and walk around your house or walk barefoot if you want to. After
Mhm.
Hurricane Harvey and our house flooded and we just saw our stuff floating down the hallway and stuff, now we living like minimalists. I didn't know what a minimalist was until I said, you know what?
Right.
We're going to get garden furniture to replace all that stuff we had. And if it rained, that still ain't gonna go nowhere. So you just sit down on that garden chair.
Right. Right. Put a cushion in it and take it out. Right. I know what you're talking. Yes.
it's
Yes.
it's minimal. I mean, and my friends look like, what's she doing? That's what my children say. When you gonna get some more furniture? This is it. Sit down and enjoy yourself, okay? And
Doesn't
so,
it take you to reality? Yes.
yes, and it
Mhm.
just planting when you plant a grateful tree in your life, you be grateful when you get the apple, the stem that came, that the apple is on. That was the umbilical cord to the apple. So you're looking
Yes.
at
Yes. Yes.
this stem on this apple. Hey, that's why you got the apple. The
My
nutrients
nephew.
for
My
the
nephew.
apple.
my nephew was laughing at me. He just said, "You're getting old." But I was so excited that this
Mhm.
tree that I had planted, for the first year, it bared fruit. It bared oranges. I mean, big, beautiful, juicy oranges. And I
Mhm.
was so excited. You know what I'm saying? And I was running out there. I was like, "Oh Lord, let's just get these out these." Or he said, "They're just oranges." And I was trying to say, and I want to go back to the man in the garbage can. So I was just
Mhm.
trying to say that this is something that I planted, that I had a belief that it was going to grow, and
Mhm. Mhm.
actually see it grow and just come out there one morning. I don't know how that happened, that I just saw them that morning, but the
Mhm.
few mornings before I did not see them, but they must have
Yeah.
been real
Mhm.
small,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden I was like, wow. So sometimes I think um the expectation, the hope with the expectation. So when you were talking about the man and when you were back there looking at the man, you were waiting on your pizza.
Mhm. Mhm.
So many times I have stopped to ask people, who are going through the cans, have you eaten?
Mhm.
I see them, they're picking up bottles of I say, have you eaten or anything? And I get many different types of responses. Some don't want you to talk to them because they're in a bad mood.
Mhm.
They go like, leave me alone. But
Mhm.
I think when I'm looking at hope, I find many times the persons who are going through the garbage and who are on the street, when I ask them about that, I find that they still have hope. They
Mhm.
still, because he's saying, the man on the corner of Old Spanish Trail there with 288, he told
Mhm.
me, I'm just here for today, just for a few months until I can get myself together. And he says, nobody ever stops to ask me what I really need.
Mhm.
He says, but
Mhm.
I'm going to make it away from this situation. I listen to what they're saying. So I think we could hear people, and I want to hear what you have to say, Doc Walker, about culture over the difficulties that people encounter. Like you're talking about your furniture, you're talking about the man. Look at the difficulties that we encounter in our past, and how does that affect our present hope, or how can we use the past to build on and bring on encouragement or hope?
Well, I think there's several ways. One is through language, how we speak to each other, um, acknowledging and celebrating one another rather than looking for ways to tear each other down. I think that inspires hope, in the person hearing the words and in the person delivering those words, just of encouragement. Um, I think of the power of relationships and the power of community and
Mm,
in their ability to instill hope in people. I also think of service. There's a
hmm
whole lot of hope that can be gleaned from a willingness to give of yourself to others, give of yourself in service to community. And what Dr. Sanders said, that piece on gratitude, oh my God, that's huge.
Yes.
Um, another example that I would give is in building examples of self determination. Now, whether you're a group or whether you're, um, like a church, temple, mosque, community center, what have you, or just an individual that's a part of those things. Let me give one quick example. As a member of the Shrine of the Black Madonna, um, uh, I used to live in the apartments right across the street from the church, and down the street from us was an apartment complex that we didn't own, and it was the center of drug activity, violence. The closest police station to that complex said that on average they received over 400 calls a year to go stop some violent act. Over 400 calls, and it was so deadly. We called that particular apartment complex. We called it the bucket of blood. That was our nickname for
Yes,
it,
yes,
because it
yes.
was just violence, it was chaos, it was drugs, it was all that.
Mhm.
And so our presiding bishop said, "Well, we need to buy that place. We need to transform it." And so we purchased it, and literally overnight, um, we purchased it, we cleaned it out. It became a residence hall for people who wanted to give their lives to God and to our people. And
Yes,
so, but I'm saying that to say that once that piece of property was transformed, we started getting all these calls and well wishes from just the neighborhood. Thank God you did that. Thank God. People were speaking as if they were injected with a new level of hope because they
yes,
saw an institution that was once killing the community, and now it seemed to be giving life to the community. Um, and then I'll end by saying this. Um, I don't know if you got the news, but Dr. James Conyers, the head of the University of Houston African American Studies program,
Mhm.
I heard yesterday the unfortunate news that he passed.
oh no. Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
really?
he passed. I mean, and I already knew that he was a giant in terms of his
Mhm.
impact on Houston's Black community and really the national and Pan African community.
Yes,
But
yes.
but in just talking to like some of my former students, which were also some of his former students, I learned so much more. And so it's just funny that we're talking about hope because he gave hope through his scholarship, through the visiting scholars program. He was giving
Mhm.
other Black scholars opportunities to be visiting scholars. You know, Black scholars don't get that opportunity like white professors get. But he
Yes.
gave that opportunity to other Black scholars, publication opportunities. He was always looking for ways. You know, publishing is just so critically important in academia, but he was giving opportunity after opportunity, not only for other scholars, but for his students. He published Ujima Magazine, a student publication. He endowed a scholarship program. Um, and the list of, I mean, literally his
And when he
commitment to,
opened his mouth, you just felt energized. You know,
right.
that's what I'm talking about. You
And
felt like you could do stuff that you knew that you could do it and was already inside of you.
and
Yeah.
he had a sincere investment in community. It wasn't just words for him. He would always have his students interning or working with community organizations. The list of community organizations that were a part of the U of H African American Studies Network, National Council of Black Studies, Association for the Study of African American Life and History, Association of Black Psychologists, Association of Black Sociologists, Urban Soul Dance Company, Shape Community Center,
Mhm.
on and on and on and on. That's literally how I came on in 2014 to become a professor because of his commitment to community. He knew about the shrine, and that's how
Yes.
we met. And he learned about, I went to Emory's Candler School of Theology, so I had that background. So he said, you know what, we have a class. It's called the Black Church in America that has been sitting there without um, without an instructor for far too long. Would
Oh
you
my
come on
goodness.
and do that?
Mhm.
So it was his commitment to community
Mhm.
that
Yes,
that
yes.
even brought me on in the first place. Yeah.
Well, look, somebody just texted me a poem.
Oh,
Okay. And they
go
said,
ahead.
you're talking about hope. It says that now I don't know, they don't have on here who wrote it. But they said, hope shines forever, pure and bright. It never fades away. It is a ray of heavenly light, unyielding to decay. It is hope that bears our spirit up when failing in despair, nor sinks the heart. With this it prop, through hard may be our fare. It rears our castles to the skies. With faith increases grace, and with it we may someday rise to find in heaven's place. Hmm. And then they sent this. Two girls I know, one named Jeanette and the other one named Joe. And one is always moping, and the other lassie, come what may. is ever bravely hoping, beauty of face and girlish grace, and theirs for joy or sorrow. Jeanette takes brightly each day and every day, and Joe dreads each tomorrow.
Mm.
Oh, and
Uh-huh.
as we were talking about hope, and and going back to our subject, encouraging one
Thank
another,
you.
um, is to the is the key to hope and wellness. No man is an island. Somebody wrote that too, and no man stands alone. And when you see, it used to kind of, I said, I don't understand if you're homeless, why you have pets. But that's their way of caring for someone. Maybe this, at the 288 and the Beltway, this man has a carrot and he has two dogs, and then he had the puppy in the baby carriage, and he's hungry, but and a big jug with the water in it. And I said, look at there. Even in your state, you're making sure that those animals are cared for. That's a beautiful thing. You on your last foot, and you helping
Mhm.
something something else. And so we have to remember to pay it forward. Now I know we can't give to every homeless person on the street and all. And my guest today was going to talk about her sock ministry. And one time she presented that and people laughed. Socks. Yes, socks. Some people don't have nothing on their feet, and it's a sock ministry for the homeless. How
Mhm.
grateful those people are just to have socks on their feet. I know
Mhm.
I'm in the National Women of Achievement, the Houston chapter. They just did a sock ministry for the Aiden house, or the Aiden house. I think it's like um, a old folks home or something like that. And we collected 198 pairs of socks. So one of the residents' sons was sitting out in the parking lot, and he's Caucasian, and he said, "May I ask what are y'all doing with all those socks?" And they told him, "We're going to give it to the residents because the seniors, their feet are cold at night. All of them don't have family that bring them socks. So each resident got two
Mhm.
pairs of white socks. We all had to bring two bunches of socks so that
Mhm.
they could give it to the residents. Those residents were so appreciative
That's
just
right.
for a pair of socks. You know
Mhm.
what? In the middle of the night when your feet cold, a nice pair of socks really come in
They
handy.
feel
You
good.
know?
Mhm.
Yes. So it's just the
Mm.
little things
They
that we should
count.
be grateful for. And then you don't realize that pleasure center in our head, it don't have to be all erotic and all, but the idea that someone was was made happy produces a happy feeling within you. It produces a
Mhm.
pleasure within you, you
Mhm.
know, and it makes you feel, now it's selfish to think of it, but it makes you feel good when you see someone appreciate what you've done. Now, everybody don't show
Mhm.
appreciation, but just the idea, the act of you doing, paying
Mhm.
it
Mhm.
forward. Like
Mhm.
when it's been some time ago, but when we had to put the money in the tollway. Well, my daughter, this is when she was going to get a job. She didn't tell me she had to be at the place at a certain time, and I didn't know how to get there. I said quickly, so I said, "Oh Lord, we got to get on this tollway." She said, "Mom, you have to pay." I said, "Pay what?" She says, "A sign up there." I said, "You didn't tell me that. We didn't get no girl. We sitting at the tollway getting scraping $1.75 to get a dollar, whatever it was, and we just throwing them pennies and nickels and dimes. I said, girl, we got to get 25 more cents. She said, "Oh, Mama, I didn't bring my purse." I said, "Oh, Kim." The line was so long, and the guy in the back of us, he just took token or whatever it was, and put it in there. I said, "Oh, sir, we can't pay you back." He said, "Pay it forward. Do something for somebody else today. Just get out of my way so I can get to work."
I know that. I know that, but I'm gonna tell you one thing. That's a wonderful thing to pay. Let me tell you. So somebody did that for me this week, and
Yes.
but let me say, I'm a not ever. I'm hesitant to tell anybody that I like something that they had. I want to say
Mhm.
this. Speaking of encouragement, so
Mhm.
I told the lady in my church. I said, "Ooh." I said, I really, now this is happening boom, boom, boom like this. And I said, I'm going to stop that. I said, I really
Mhm.
like that hat on you.
Mm.
She insisted. She took the hat off and gave it to me. And I was
Mhm.
like, oh my goodness, I can't, I'm just not going, and I forgot it.
Mhm.
So I was in the office building and it was this man. I'm just showing you how people respond. And I didn't, so the man coming down the elevator, he was getting ready to get on the elevator and I was coming down the hall and I said, okay, today is Friday. He had this beautiful bouquet of flowers in his hand. And
Mhm.
he said, how are you doing today? And I said, very good. I said, thank you for the flowers. I was just teasing him, you
Yeah.
know.
Uh-huh.
And he said,
Mhm.
here, these are for you. I was like, oh, wait, wait, wait.
Oh.
So then the other day, I went to HEB. I went into the store and, I try not to carry a purse with me or
Mhm.
anything. So I put this in the safety deposit box, my credit card. You know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
so I put it away and I had the card in my, so I went in there and bought all my groceries, basket full of groceries. Okay. And it's about $100 worth of groceries.
Mhm.
I get to the counter with a wrong card, not even the right
Oh.
card. So I had to go back out to my car to
Mhm.
get the right card. And I told the lady, hold my basket. So
Mhm.
I run out to the car to get the card. When I come back, she gives me the receipt and tells me that somebody just paid for all your groceries.
Oh my
Mm.
I
God.
was like, look, I'm getting too scared of this stuff here. What is going So anyway, you know what I'm saying? And so that was encouraging. I was like, wow. So you're saying something that's really important, paying it forward. So then
Mhm.
you see what happened was when I left there. Generally, I give people money. I generally keep peanut butter in my car. I
Mhm.
generally, I have canned goods. Where you pop the canned goods, the beans and whatever. And when
Mhm.
people say they're hungry, I give something like that to them.
Right. Mhm.
So when I left there, I was feeling so grateful and surprised and shocked, in a state of shock. When I turned the corner on 288 and you come down McGregor, it's a little guy that stands there.
Mhm.
And he was like saying, oh, right away. So I didn't give him not one can. I gave him
Mhm.
5 cans.
Yeah. Okay.
I was
Mhm.
like feeling so, I just couldn't believe I'm still in a state of something because, I have to work hard for everything I get. you
Mhm.
know,
Mhm.
even the man told me years ago, he said, with a name like yours, if you were like, and that's about how culture is. I was gonna ask Doc Walker. So he says a name like you have. Now, if you were Tawanda, or if you were Chiquita, or if you were somebody like that, he was giving a big national presentation
Mhm.
about how people do things to build you up when you have certain names. He said,
Mhm.
but now you take a name like Willie, you're gonna have to work hard all your life. Cause nobody
Mm.
he says names, culturally speaking, names will have to do with how people will help another person.
Oh,
Mm.
yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
That if you
Mhm.
have a name that means hard work, dedication, Willie, I did not know that Willie meant all of those kinds of things. Generally, they're the firstborn. Generally, they are associated with William. William is supposed to be. He went on and he was just naming culturally how people respond to names. They are not going to seldom give you anything if you're not the cutie, little name. I was like, wow. So he was saying when you're encouraging another person, there are things that you do for people that they don't expect you to do. So
But
he
it
was,
does,
mm,
and it doesn't just benefit the person who's giving something and the person receiving. People who see that act of
yes.
kindness, they
Hmm.
receive,
Mhm.
a, for lack of a better term, a shot of hope themselves. Even telling stories like this, when people hear of good works done by others, that infuses them with a. This has been researched, and I don't have the research studies in front of me, but just hearing about, just seeing
Altruism,
acts of
altruism research.
other
Hmm.
people's acts of kindness do something for our hope. So just imagine how much more when we are the ones that are actually providing the service or giving the ear to someone who just needs someone to talk to, or um, developing that relationship, or building that relationship up, or mending a relationship that may have been broken or fractured. So being a part of it can give you a whole different level of hope. And
Mhm.
I mean, I always go back to community, community, community.
Community. That's, hmm.
When you see someone willing to invest, and I'm sure I'm not the only one on this in this conversation who has had other people to invest in me, to see something in me that I didn't see
Good.
in
Hmm.
myself.
Mhm.
And so when
Mhm.
that happens, you are injected with a whole different levels of hope and possibilities, and all these
Hmm.
things. So it just goes back to those relationships are just so critically important.
We're doing
And
a
you were
project. Go on, Nurse Sanders. Hmm.
I, I was just saying you remember acts of kindness that were bestowed on you. In college, I used to get a care package from one of my mom's friends. And I was so grateful. One day she sent me some sardines and peanut butter and crackers and, stuff, staple things. And I said, why would she send me sardines? And so I I found out one night I was hungry. I opened up the gas. Sardines was right on top.
They were
While
good. What?
everybody else was breaking in a whatchamajigger machine. Well, I wasn't gonna do that, but they were tearing that machine up, getting chips and stuff. I opened them sardines and ate them sardines and the crackers. That was right on time, and I'm still eating sardines. I ate so much when I came home to get my physical. My vitamin K level was up. So the doctor told me, "What what yo some of your lab work is off." She said, "And I know what you're doing. Do you eat a lot of sardines?" And I looked at her, I said, "Yeah." She said, "You're gonna have to cut back on that. It had something in it. It was throwing my vitamin K level off or whatever." And she said, "You're gonna have to cut back on eating those sardines." But now when I have my friends' kids go off to college, I make them a care package because I remember how so
Mhm.
important it was for me to have that little thing of scope mouthwash, that little toothpaste. Because you can't always go to the commissary, at 6 o'clock in the morning and you don't have no more toothpaste. But that lady that thought about you, you go look in your little box, all of that's in there. And
That's right.
I don't know if I told the story last time, but I went to the little a dollar and more store over there by where HEB used to be on Scott. When
Yes.
I used to make my rounds dropping the kids off, I hit that HEB and then go to that dollar store. It's supposed to be a dollar, but it say dollar and more. But anyway, so I pulled up there and I saw this person. I said, "Oh my God!" And she had been asking people for money, and so I backed out, and she looked at me, and I pulled far. I was playing like I was trying to park my car right. I said, "You know what? don't let me be like this. The lady might need help. And so then she said, hello. She said, I'm not asking for money. I start a job on Monday, and I just moved into an apartment down the street on Scott, somewhere near the 610. She said, I'm hungry. And I got a job as a nurse and home care provider. Could you buy me some things? She said, and my apartment is dirty. I just want some cleaning solutions, a thing of ramen noodles, so I can clean the apartment. I can eat tonight. I said, well, I come in here to get, uh, I don't do just Christmas because I don't believe in that day. Every day is a good day, and Christ was here. That's a commercialized day, but I was going to get my grandsons. I had $6, spend $2 on each one just to make them a little package because they don't know about Christmas being commercialized. All they want to see is a little something. And their mama told them, I'm not going to be able to do that. It's three of y'all. Y'all need tennis shoes, and that's what you get. So, anyway, so I go and I say, well, listen, I said, I tell you what, I got a credit card. I don't know how much I got on the card, but let's go see what we can get. She said, well, can I come in with you? Because the guy don't want me in there. And so I said, sure. And I came in. I go and now all the time. So the little guy from Pakistan, wherever he's from, he know me. I said, hey, how you doing? And so he spoke, hey, mama. So I went on. So she didn't spend over $4. And so I said, is that all you need? He said, well, you say you didn't know how much room you had on your credit card. I said, well, that's true. And so I said, well, where did you get that cleaning fluid? What hour was that? And she told me, she said, you need one? I said, yeah, I need some. So she went and got the stuff for me. We got in line. I said, oh God, help me. This was what I was saying it. I didn't know I was saying it really out loud. I said, Lord, please let this purchase go through. And so then she started praying behind me. She said, God, help this lady. Please, please bless her. She's just a little angel. Please. So the little Pakistani man, he looking at us like we crazy. He talking about, Amen, Amen, Amen. And everybody was praying.
So he just got
She said, so I gave him the card. So she said, oh God, help her, help her, help her. God, I was saying, help her, Lord. So anyway, the purchase went through. And so he said, good day, mommy, good day, good day. So the lady said, oh, thank you so much. I said, you welcome, baby. So I just got in the car. I just started crying. I said, that lady prayed for me. You know, I need to
it.
be praying for her. But she was praying for me that the purchase would go through. And not only just to get her stuff, but for me to get the stuff for the boys. And so I said, this is something that other people that are in dire straits or whatever, that they'll take the time to pray
Mhm,
for you. How
mhm.
unselfish is that? And I was going to back out that parking spot because I didn't feel like nobody begging. But look how God blessed me, you know?
Yes,
Because
yes.
I know I ain't had no room on that car, but look how he blessed me to bless her,
And it does, it
so.
makes your life, I know you felt more meaningful. You felt like your time was more meaningful when I call that part, that giving part there, a sense of community too. It's like you're helping to build up the people who need in your community. And then also, I'm having this thing that's going on with me lately that
Mhm,
when you're helping someone, that I believe that you can help them for their temporary needs. But I think it's so important for us in the community and individually to help them get a leg up, to
mhm,
help them to see what it is really that they really need to move up and to help sustain their lives. Sometimes we give them this or this what we think we can give them or want to
mhm,
give them. But I'm thinking and believing now that we need to do more, that we need
Mhm.
to do something to find out what our neighbor really needs. You know, I have a neighbor that my heart goes out to. I know that she's making a change in her life emotionally. And, you know, she's in the streets, she's dancing around, she's saying things. She was a professional woman at one time. What I mean, she dedicated her mind to her studies, and and so I'm seeing these things. She's very angry, and those, and so I was very fearful of calling the police because I was afraid that they would misinterpret her
Mhm.
behavior. So when I called, I had to finally call because she was blocking traffic, and it was awful, and that was so hurtful. So and when I called them, I asked them, could I be there when you come? Because I wanted to make sure that she's okay.
Mhm.
So what I'm saying is that the first time it happened, I did not follow through to sustain what was helpful to her. And so the second time it happened, she was very angry. She was angry with me, with everybody that tried to help her or anything. But I took the time, and this is what I'm thinking we need to do. I took the time to find her relatives so that her relatives would be able to come and help her and to find her some resources to help her begin to respect herself. You understand? To go just a little bit further. And sometimes I
Mhm.
think we're not thinking that way in terms of community. And we have around us everybody that could help us, but we're not following through long enough, allowing our heart to connect with that person, putting ourselves in that person's position or something. And I'm beginning to like take more time. And so it's probably the old age. You know, when you get, they say it's generativity or something, when you get to be a certain age and you all of a sudden, like you were, I'm not going to call you old, Nurse Sanders, but like you pull it back in the car pull up. So
Mhm.
I think it's good to help somebody get food and whatever. But if they're out there all the time looking for food and we're passing the same it's calling us to find out, what does this person need?
Mhm.
Why are they always there? What is it that they want? What can I say to them? And that's what um I went when you told me what some of the things around hope, I went and looked some things up, okay,
Mhm.
on hope. And I want to tell you how important it is. Okay, so if we were really doing this, it says that even with an athlete, or whatever you want to name, that the research has already found that that well-being is associated with hope. We become more well when we have hope. Even the pain level that we have decreases the pain when we have hope. Did you know our relationships change? Our self esteem, when a person expresses confidence in us and will do something in hope, we believe, our self esteem improve. And I got on and I was looking, I said, this is more important. And it was saying, if you could find the words, like Doc Walker was saying, the words that we use, begin to start using words like, you already have it inside of you. I know that you can do it, which is true. And begin to say those. And when you do that, the very person that you're expressing, you give them the goal of hope. You know that we're walking around all the time with the secrets of health, that all we have to do is to wish it or give it or to be thankful for it. And then it was saying, even in a stressful situation, when a person feels fear or threatening, all you have to do is to tell them that you're right here beside them, that you will not be alone. And all of a sudden, even if they will hold on in life, and I'm gonna share this with you, with my husband when he was dying. There he was in the bed. And I had no idea that that was going to be his last breath. and he was there, and I was talking to him and holding his hand, and I said, you know what? No matter what, everything's gonna be all right. I just know that. I know that things are gonna be okay. And so the TV was on, and I looked over. There was this beautiful fawn, little baby deer standing on a hill on the TV, and I said, "Do you see that deer?" I said, "Didn't doesn't that remind you of up in the country when we go to the country, how peaceful it is?" And I didn't. The nurse was telling me all the time that I talked. He gave me his going home to turn and look at that. So he turned and looked at the deer and he said, "Oh, that makes me feel so good. That is so
Mhm.
peaceful. Oh, that was
Mhm.
such a beautiful experience." And then he turned to the right, and that was it. He was gone. You understand? And so
Mhm.
giving of something to someone, you never know when that moment is. So everything that we
Mhm.
say to a person could be that last thing that you say, and how important the words are.
Mhm.
You see? And
Mhm.
so that's what I was looking at. Hmm.
Now, when I got in the car, I said, "Oh God, forgive me for being a hypocrite." I felt so bad, and I just started crying. And so then, it just something come to mind. It said, "Encourage the faint of heart." And we're supposed to uh, lend a helping hand, and we are our brother's keeper. And I said, forgive me and thank you for my blessing that you gave me today. And the lady just went on, and got on the bus and went to where she was going. I said, I could have gave her this bag of apples back here that I had bought for the kids. But I didn't think about that because she asked me for ramen noodles, cleaning solution, and something else we got. And we were
Hmm.
able to get that. And so, we just have to have that feeling of gratitude and paying it forward. And in the negative, let's look for a positive.
And I
Let's
just
look
want
for
to,
the positive things in life. Hmm.
and I would just add that just to show how critically important hope is. Um,
Hmm.
Dr. Lewis, you asked me for like a cultural historical reference.
Hmm.
Well, in Kenneth Stamp's book, The Peculiar Institution, where he talks about the process that was used to try to transform human beings into those who would accept enslavement. Um, One of the processes was to convince African people of our total, total dependence on quote unquote master for anything and everything. It was teaching us helplessness and hopelessness, that there's absolutely nothing we can do for ourselves. If we need anything, food, water, shelter, the only person that's going to give it to us is Massa.
Yeah.
So teaching
Mhm.
us, ingraining in us hopelessness and helplessness um, was critical for keeping us enslaved. And so the flip side of that is we've got to be more intentional about speaking to ourselves and to each other about the power that we have. And that's why one of my pet peeves with the Black church is of all the preaching that's done, there are two scriptures that I don't hear preached enough. One of them, and Jesus talked about this all the time. He says, the kingdom of God is within you. It's not over in Katie. It's not over here, over there. It's within you. You've got something powerful and special inside of you.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
another scripture that I just rarely hear preached in the Black church is Jesus talking to his folk, his disciples, the sisters and brothers that were with him. And he told them, what I can do, you can do, and
Hmm.
even greater things shall you do. We have got to preach that message to each other. The power that we have, the power that the creator gave us, so that we're not sitting here waiting for someone else to do for us what God gave us the power to do for ourselves. And I think if we preach that message of our own, what we
Mhm.
have, what God has given us, that would
Yeah.
give our people another level of hope.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So it is that if we were really going to, I think I'm trying to come up with something where we could give to the audience some steps that the audience might want to take in terms of building encouragement. If you were a parent,
I'll give
uh,
one. I'll give
okay,
one if you don't mind,
give
and then
one.
then I'll be quiet. One of
No,
my one of my mentors, one of the things that he would always talk about is um, positive affirmations. He said, "Wake up in the morning, look in the
Mhm.
mirror, and go through your positive affirmations because the
Yes.
world gives us negative affirmations, especially Black folk. Um, if you're Black, you're going to get negative affirmations for being Black. If you're female, y'all can speak to this, of course, better than I can. You're going to get negative affirmations because you're female. And so if you're not getting those positive affirmations somewhere else, you got to step up and give them to yourself. Positive affirmations can give you a sense and feeling of hope and power. And I'll be quiet and I'll listen and learn to what you all want to add to that.
You said a
but I
thousand
wanted
words.
to. I also wanted to tell people, maybe we could explore because I have this little thing that they call it a rising, steps to rising and building, the thing. And so it says first, in your mind, like you're saying, recite some affirmations.
Hmm.
Find three scriptures that you can fall upon. Find some things that you could say to yourself. Like I have one that when I was in school, there was a cheerleading song, and it would say, they would tell the football team, you've done it before and you can do it again. So come on and let's go. So when things get real tough, I remind myself, somebody done it before. You've
Mhm.
done it before. So come on and let's
Mhm.
go get on with this
Yeah.
here thing. And so don't be
Mhm.
moping around. So the first thing it says was, we have these steps, and it says, if you find yourself there, find yourself some affirmations, things that you say, create your cheerleading note, and then describe your goal. Find out what your deep burning desires are. Describe your goal in as much detail as you can possibly.
Hmm.
And then you do a meditation and a thankfulness for what you already have. And then you say, how much of this desire do I have in the goal that I've identified? And then you want to describe why you want to achieve. This is your spiritual self. Why do I want to achieve what I'm saying? So what is making me want to do this? So when you get through doing all, it says list the things, the pathways that you're going to take. The things, the road. Are you going down 290? Which way are you going to go? What is your pathway to get where you're going to go? The steps that you're going to order in terms of meeting your deep burning desire. And then describe the time that you're going to work on it to overcome the barriers. How often are you going to use the things that you said you wanted to say? Your motivating words and whatever. How often are you going to use them? And then choose the best way that you're going to take right now and know that if you fail, there is no failing. You just tried one path and you're going to try another path. You see,
Mhm.
and so
Mhm.
all of the
Mhm.
paths you've chosen anyway are going to lead you where you want to go. One may take a little bit more time than the
Mhm.
other.
Just do
Recognize
so.
that that's right, and recognize
Mhm.
that if there are obstacles, it is worthy.
Mhm.
Because if it's not, people or things or situations, the difficulty is only readying you for a larger goal. You see,
Yes.
because you're becoming
Mhm.
stronger. So you're either going to think of the obstacle as something that's stopping you, or you're going to think of the obstacle as something that's going to prepare your pathway. You see, and so if you begin to do that, then you can become more encouraging and you can become more hopeful, and you're going to have a higher sense of well being, and you're going to have more self esteem, and you're going to achieve because that's within you. If you believe what's in you, will help you move toward your achieving your goal. It will call it instilling hope. And it says, then it had a statement that I wanted to say would be that don't be afraid because you're never alone.
Mhm.
You're really never alone. And when you're
Mhm.
open, it draws other people to you. And so then you're never alone.
Hmm.
Okay. Now you got God with you and you got everybody else around there. And all of the other people you don't need around you until they're ready or prepared to be around you, if that
Mhm.
makes any sense.
Yes,
You
it
see?
does.
And so, okay, then. So, in other words, Dr. Sanders, you said it.
Mhm.
You said it earlier that um, to believe and to ask yourself what you could do,
Mhm.
because we are our brother's keeper, and we would
Mhm.
then begin to connect with other people to carry the word as to what we're supposed to do.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay. So I think we did. We gave a lot of information today, but I think that if we could visualize it, to see it and happen in some of the stories that you gave. And if we could look at and you know what, Dr. Walker, I do want to announce to people that we had a wonderful program this past weekend. We had the family oriented program, and it was awesome. We
Mm.
had we had so many families there, and they shared their experiences, and I think we're going to continue that particular Saturday program. And then, audience, please know that Doc Walker, you've heard so much about history and culture with him.
Yes.
The announcement will be coming out very soon, and we'll be talking about it next week. His program, and so I want you, if you're interested in studying, please give me a call. It will go up on the website the middle of February, and then you'll be able to register for the class starting February. For all professionals, families, youth that want to learn more, please sign up for the cultural studies program that we have for wellness. And Doc Walker is going to have a class that's going to all these questions that you've been asking me, and we've been asking. We're going to learn a little bit at a time about our culture and how to harness all of that for our wellness.
And
And
tell them how they can, excuse me, how they can sign up for the mental health coaching
oh,
class.
that's right. Yes. And
Mhm.
and don't forget you will be able to sign up for that one and the mental health coaching class. You have something coming to your community, to our community. And if other people are interested, you can start it in yours. Please give me a call. We are getting ready to have our leaders in our community, our healthcare professionals, and please, we're looking for more counselors, psychologists, beauticians, barbers. We have invested ourselves to harness the spiritual self, the mind, body, spirit, to heal people in the community. The mental health coaching program is preparing people in our community to come alongside of you, whether you need it now or whether you need it in the future, to help you from step to step to make it through whatever you're going through. All you have to do, one, to become a coach, is to go to wrc-houston.com, wrc-houston.com, and register. If you're interested and you have a need and you belong to a church, talk to your pastor or call ips.health at sbcglobal.net or ips.health1 at gmail.com. If you email and say you're interested, you can call and say you're interested or you need assistance, and we'll be ready to help you. 281-381-2276. You can text or you can call. So I'm excited about the possibility, and I do want to say that this is going to be cornerstone of bringing the community together. Okay. So I want to say thank you for being with us today, and thank you, Dr. Janice Sanders, our registered nurse. And I want to say thank you to our, now you know who he is. He is our historian,
Yeah.
and he is also the associate pastor of the shrine. So I want to thank both of you for being here, audience. Thank you, and remember, our theme is renew beliefs, rebuild faith,
You.
and reconnect families and communities. It is not the circumstances that we meet; it is the manner in which we respond that determines health, happiness, and success. So we'll be on next week. We're going to break it down. We're going to look at how you can appreciate your culture. We're going to look at how you can build health within yourself by knowing yourself. And from now on, we're going to start talking about specific incidences that are going to be taught in the classes. Thank you. And I look forward to seeing you when, same time, same place, God willing. Thank you.